A woman that is constantly overthinking doesn't feel safe in her body. Overthinking is not a personality trait, it's a survival mechanism. Because when a woman doesn't feel safe in her environment, in her body, in a relationship, what is the intelligent way of her body? She's putting the energy from feeling inside into the head, predicting the future, respinning conversation, moving through possible outcomes into the future because her body doesn't feel safe. She wants to predict what is happening in order for her to feel safe. So when someone as a woman is overthinking, this means there's something deeper going on. And in today's video, we look exactly into why overthinking is a survival mechanism and how to move out of it, especially during a healing period when you are being confronted with a lot of topics. And for a woman, it's especially safety. What is safety for a woman? From my own experience, so I'm referencing my own experience, one of the top priorities for safety for me is emotional priority, emotional stability. And again, there's a connection, of course, to our childhood. So for me, in order for me to feel safe, I need to feel safe emotionally. Am I safe expressing my needs? Am I safe expressing my vulnerability when I'm sad, when I'm disappointed, when I feel shame? Am I safe in my environment? And then, of course, there's stability, and stability, safety equal with money, because money is a part of our living. It is a part of our daily life. And when it's not given, when the stability is not given for a woman, and you know this, how much thoughts you have about, oh my God, can I pay this? Is this going to work? What is happening when I don't work there? It is so much energy your head is consuming if a woman doesn't feel safe financially. So these are the two things. And when you see at emotional stability, I would also consider, how am I doing in relationships? So again, our environment. Before we dive deeper, let's go into what is overthinking actually. What is happening when we as a woman overthink? Huge thing, replaying conversations. How many times have you replayed a conversation and thought to yourself, oh, I should have said this. This is overthinking because you want to feel safe. You control yourself and kind of rehearse it and think, I should have said it in a different way. This is overthinking. This is survival. And why are you doing that? Because you didn't feel safe in the conversation. Otherwise, you would have never replayed the conversation. Analyzing text messages. When you reread text messages over and over again and try to analyze what they said, what does it mean? This is overthinking. And again, the connection is to feeling safe, to feeling understood. Am I being perceived in a different way? Safety, planning the worst case scenario. So what can happen in the future, or this and that? Overthinking, being afraid of what can and could happen. All these examples have one thing in common, and it is that your nervous system doesn't feel safe. I say that again. Overthinking is connected to your nervous system, to the level of safety you feel within your body. You would never overthink if a part within you tells yourself, you better make sure we do this and that, or you rethink the conversation, I should have said this, or I need to go there, because it's not safe. It doesn't feel safe. This part within you is just trying to protect you, to predict the future, to predict the outcome, to prevent the pain, and tries to stay ahead of possible danger. So it's a natural protection mechanism, and it's actually super intelligent if you look at from a different angle. So remember, this is what you remember from this video. When a woman doesn't feel safe in her body, her head takes over and tries to predict the outcome because it wasn't safe for her for a very long time. With healing, with reconnecting to your nervous system, you reconnect to a deeper part within yourself that feels safe. And here comes, I would say, one of the core relationships why we not feel safe inside. These are experiences we gathered throughout life. One of them is emotional immature parents. If you could not express your needs, your desires, your vulnerability, or even when you felt shame over and over again in a safe way, you might have get judged or don't feel this way. Come on. You learned it's not safe to express your emotions. So one huge example of that is emotional immature people around you, also in your daily life. If you can't be vulnerable with yourself while with your partner or with friends or family, why would your body feel safe? Emotions are part of your beautiful feminine body. Emotions are always feedback. Again, emotions are always feedback. And if you don't connect to feedback, your head is doing this. Your head comes over and tries to predict every little outcome. Another reason why women live more in their head than in their body is because love was unstable. Unstable, unpredictable caregivers emotionally. You learn that it's not safe for me. I have to predict my future, the outcomes, because I'm not even safe in the present moment. So you better prepare yourself for any type of worst case scenario, in order for you to be protected. So a huge correlation to why you are overthinking everything is the relationship to your childhood, is the experience that shaped you, is the people around you. And when you're at the point right now in your life and you realize, I definitely do overthink stuff. I always try to predict the outcome. I try to think it through from the beginning to the end in order for me to be safe. This is such a huge invitation to go deeper on these parts, because you know what? You are allowed and you should have people around you where you feel safe emotionally, where your sensitivity is not a problem. It's actually a gift, and people love that you can be vulnerable. It's like a superpower where you relearn, where your nervous system is relearning that it is safe now. You're not the little girl anymore that have experienced these things, that had to walk on eggshells because her environment wasn't safe emotionally. But now you can rewire it. Now you are allowed to feel safe within your body. And life is not about living in your head. It's about living in your body with your head and heart together. And when you remember that, you become aware. It's not something that's shifting within a week, but it's something you can move back again. You have your tools, you have your journaling, write it out. You can go to therapy, you can meditate. And when you do, and you do these practices, you start having a different self-talk. You start telling yourself, we are actually safe. We don't have to think through it. We can trust again. We have the stability within us. Over and over and over again. And I know it's hard to believe when there's so much instability around you going on. But the only true, really true stability is coming from you now. Not your parents, not your partner, not the outside circumstances. You can anchor that from within. And that's the path and the connection you're nurturing with each step, with each tool that you're doing, with each conversation. And I feel like from my personal experience that especially the emotional safety, that's like so important for me. Like I want that for myself, but I also want it for other people, that, no judgment. It's just what is, that is. And if someone, always remember that, if someone has the courage to show you how they feel and how vulnerable and deeply hurt they are, that's intimacy. When someone can be so raw and vulnerable with you from their pain, their experiences, that is true intimacy. That is true intimacy, soul intimacy. At least this is for me. So be aware if people can do it, and be aware how you can hold the room and be there for people, but also, of course, for yourself. Yes, so overthinking, it's a huge, deep topic. Let me know if you want to go even deeper on that, because I have realized throughout my healing, it is such a deep topic. It is constantly there. It's still there now, but it gets so much better with time. And I really want to know, when did you realize that you do actually overthink? Like, was there a point where you had this realization, okay, I'm overthinking this. Like, this is crazy. Why am I doing it? And you snap back and you were like, wait a minute. Why am I actually overthinking everything? I really had it this way, that I was like, why am I overthinking everything? Why? There must be a reason why. Where is this actually coming from? And I went to the roots, to the circumstances, the people, and I learned this is deep. Like, this is a survival mechanism. And if a woman doesn't feel safe, and women need so much more to feel safe. Like, I realized the feminine needs a lot more than, it's her environment, it's the people around her, emotional safety, financial safety. So deep, huge topic. If you have enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you watching the video before, these two, about motivation, why you lose motivation when you heal, and also the interest in dressing up. You don't lose your femininity, but it's like you have no interest anymore in putting up makeup and beauty. Watch these two videos, highly recommended. And if you're new here, do me a favor, subscribe. This channel is growing. This is my project, is growing, and I'm excited for more. So please keep up the conversation, because you help me so much talking about these topics and letting me know that there are real people out there really watching it. Have a beautiful day, and I see you in the next video.